You are on From Dirt We Grow. Your host, Stephanie Kendall, welcomes you to the episode where I am featuring Miss Keira Havens. She is the executive director and co founder of a movement that we need to get involved with citizens' impeachment. They are all over social media, and let's hear what she has to say. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, Stephanie. Really appreciate it.
So, you started this 9 months ago, this movement. Tell us all about it.
Hard to believe it's been 9 months, first of all, right?
Goes fast, doesn't it?
Oh, especially when it's just chaos and dumpster fires everywhere you look, right? Every day is a decade. April of 2025, that was the same time Liberation Day was happening, right? He had just gone into his first round of tariffs. Trump had appointed Elon Musk. Doge was in full swing. We were seeing massive illegal firings of federal workers. I believe we had just had Russell Vought confirmed for OMB, and basically Project 2025 was underway, right? And there was no resistance from Congress. I mean, there still kind of isn't resistance from Congress, but then they were confirming people left and right. They were, issuing strongly worded letters, and maybe they were attempting to build a lawsuit or two, but nobody in Congress was saying, we have to hold this guy accountable. And nobody was willing to use the word impeachment. So so we sat down and gathered together about 1,000 folks from every single district across the country, and we sent an email to every single representative's office all at the same time and said, "Will you commit to impeaching Donald Trump for tyranny?" And we included an article of impeachment that we had drafted, the citizens had drafted at that point in time. And we had about 600 people follow through on that. 15 representatives gave us a response by the deadline, which was great. And then 3 weeks later, one of these representatives picked up that article of impeachment, stuck it in their own impeachment resolution, and brought those articles to the floor of the House for a vote.
Wow.
It was real fast, and for me, who's, pretty new to this, political organizing thing, I had never imagined that Congress could move that fast if they wanted to.
What happened of this? Where did that go?
Yeah, so this was Representative Thanadar. He's in Michigan's 13th district, and, what happened was leadership pressured him into not holding that vote. He withdrew his articles of impeachment, from the floor 5 minutes before the vote was supposed to happen. He had filed them under what's called Rule 9, which requires the House to take a vote on those articles of impeachment, or on whatever resolutions filed under there, within 48 hours. And this was, the last hour of the 48 hours. And they pressured him into removing the articles. So he took them out of that process and filed them with the Judiciary Committee, which is kind of the quote unquote normal way to do impeachment. And they have just sat there ever since.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's really something to think about, like, if he had just followed through in that moment, how different the conversation would have been and the landscape would have been, because leadership has been aggressively against impeachment, from the beginning. Um, there's an Axios reporter named Andrew Solander that reports on how mad the Democrats get every single time they have to talk about impeachment. And I chuckle because he's written basically the same article 11 different times over the past 8 or 9 months, where we push, we present an article, a representative picks it up, impeachment's in the news again, and then there's the Axios article with Democrats are so mad they have to deal with these rogue impeachment efforts. And I just want to say, like, they're not rogue or unplanned. It's just us. It's just the citizens agitating for it. Like, this is a thing we want. So it's going to keep happening.
Right. Yeah. Keep expecting it. So don't get mad every time you see it. Because, I mean, first of all, it's justified. And then the reason they're so agitated by it is because they're pressured.
Mhm.
That had to be deflating, didn't it? Well, I mean, not to like bring your, rain on the parade or anything, but
It was kind of unbelievable, right? Because at that point, I still thought that people in Congress wanted to do their jobs, which the thing that we had done differently was we had said, hey, tell us if you support the impeachment of Donald Trump. And then we basically turned ourselves into a media organization and said, we're going to publicize what you say. We're going to put it on a tracker. We're going to tell it to your constituents and to the world. And that's what got people to move in the beginning. And then, yeah, it was really eye-opening to recognize that that doing the right thing was not actually part of the calculus, right? It wasn't. It seems straightforward from my perspective. I mean, I'm a veteran. I swore the same oath that the representatives do to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Thank you for your service. I said the same oath.
Yeah, thank you too. It's obvious, right? We have a commander in chief that has gone to the press and said he doesn't know if he has to support and defend the Constitution. And like, you do, buddy, that's wrong answer. But even with such obvious indications of unfitness and, like we said, the continuous onslaught of these unconstitutional behaviors, um, just no willingness to take action whatsoever. And this is even when there are polls out there demonstrating abundant support for impeachment. I mean, back in April when we started this, there was a poll that said 84% of Democrats want impeachment, 40% of independents, and even 20% of Republicans at that point wanted to see.
Now what is it?
Yeah, I would love to know. I would love someone to commission a poll because it cannot be any better.
Who conducted that first poll or the one in April?
Yeah, that first poll was conducted by Data for Progress, and they just asked the question in part because of the campaign that we had done, right? Because it was in the news, and
Mm.
so they were curious about it. And since then, a couple other groups have done polls. One in Washington with, I think it's the Northwest Institute, or Northwest Progressive Institute. That's what it is. And they found in Washington that in rural districts and in urban districts, impeachment is really popular. It's certainly more popular than Trump, especially right now. And in September, there was a poll commissioned by Free Speech for People that found that even voters in swing districts, a plurality of those voters, right at that 50% line, are also in favor of impeachment. There's not actually a downside here. I mean,
Wouldn't you think that they'd want to do what the people want so that they would be elected again by the people?
yeah, I mean, I would think, right? Like I would have thought 9 months ago that they are interested in, being representatives for the people that elected them, but I think I can say with certainty that that is largely not the case.
Now, what about the 25th Amendment? How is that different?
So the 25th Amendment, that requires buy-in from Trump's cabinet, basically. Now, Mad King shit is happening all the time, right? Like no denying that Mad King, that this is, especially with Greenland, for example, right? Like that is just some delusional behavior towards your allies. But we as citizens don't have as much control over the people that can implement the 25th Amendment, right? What we can do is we can target our representatives, whether they're Republican or Democrat, and we can say, I voted you in. I expect you to uphold your oath of office. Citizen pressure doesn't work the same way for the 25th Amendment. And what's super infuriating is that we recently had Senator Markey say, invoke the 25th Amendment, right? And like, man,
A couple. I've heard they're gonna be invoking it, but nothing ever comes of it. And what have you been doing since?
yeah, it's so a couple things. One, we've just been consistent with our pressure. So that means setting up actions every single Monday for people to reach out to their reps. And these have gotten a little bit more sophisticated as the impeachment conversation has gotten more sophisticated, right? So we target these scripts and these phone calls to the specific rep and the specific role they play. So if they and for example, Kristi Noem's impeachment articles, right? Those got filed on January 14th. By now, over 100 different reps have actually bought in. So we have made a huge difference in changing the conversation. They can't avoid the word impeachment anymore. Reps are preemptively threatening impeachment over things like Greenland, and 100 reps have signed on to these articles of impeachment, which is a huge success, right? But it's still not enough because, again, those articles were referred to the Judiciary Committee where they're just going to sit and wait for a vote. So what we did for last week's action is we asked the people with representatives on the Judiciary Committee to bring those articles of impeachment to a vote. We asked the people with representatives who had co-sponsored the articles but had not actually but we're not on the Judiciary Committee to pull the articles from the judiciary and file them under Rule 9 so they could force a vote, because I don't care who forces the vote. I just want them to vote on it, right? And then we asked the third group of people, folks that had not co-sponsored and had not, or were not on the judiciary, to support the articles of impeachment. So we try to get as specific as possible in these actions. But the other thing that we've done is we have met with a number of offices to talk about impeachment, and what we kept hearing was, well, we'll wait to the midterm, right? And so we said, well, that is not good enough. Y'all have the power now. You should be working on it now. So let's go find us some people that will talk about the midterms, talk about impeachment now. And so we started looking for candidates who were pro impeachment, and we have gathered them together under as the courage candidates. And these, I think we're up to 80 candidates now, just all across the United States, all pro impeachment, all anti corruption, all pro democracy. And that's been where a lot of our focus is going to be going forward, because if the folks in office aren't willing to do their job, well, they should not have that job.
Exactly. Exactly. And
I mean, we have written 3 articles of impeachment so far, one for tyranny, one for treason, and one for obstruction of justice, because the federal government continues to violate federal law and not release the Epstein files. That's just an ongoing problem. And we ask these candidates to, endorse those articles and commit to introducing them on day one.
yeah, so constant pressure is where you guys are at right now.
Yep, that's the day because we try and set the tone for the week for Congress and get control of the news cycle. Congress works. Congress does not work very often, and so yeah, getting in there on Monday and pressuring them through Wednesday, which is sort of the end of their workday. A lot of cases.
Their work week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the plan that we have. But I gotta say, it's been really fantastic to see more and more folks coming on board. Our most recent Courage candidate is Ana Lilia from Jersey, Ana Lilia Mejia. And she is, she's like a heavy hitter. She is in the Biden administration. She worked with Bernie. She is a person in politics, and she is willing to stand up there and say, abolish ICE and impeach Trump. She's going for Mickey Sherrill's seat in New Jersey 11, and it's fantastic to have these credible, resourceful, experienced people saying, "Man, enough is enough. We got to take some action here."
Absolutely. If people want to get involved with you, what can they do? What's their role? What would that look like?
Yeah, so we have a membership, and that is just signing up and telling us where you are from, and it doesn't need to be real specific. We just need to know the district. And actually, we don't care about your real name either. I know it sounds weird to say that, but some folks are super concerned about being on a list or what have you. Really what we need is that district, because that's how we organize everything. That's how we know who your rep is. That's how we know who the people in their office are. That's how we know what template to provide you to do this work. So that's the piece that we ask people to do. We ask them to sign up, and then we ask them to take action. Like, this is not a petition. This is not like eh, voice your support and move on. We ask you to email or to call every week and provide specific templates to do that. So I just got to say, like, we make it as easy as possible because we know everybody is doing so much, right? Like, there are so many on the ground things that have to be done to protect people in their communities. I'm thinking of Minnesota and the whistles and the ICE lookouts and the, walking kids to school so don't get abducted. And we get it, man. This is a yes and kind of thing. Everybody has a part to play and has a ton of work to do. This is something that, like, 3 clicks of a button, you can participate in, and then keep going with your regular work.
People that get involved, that choose to get involved, is there some kind of organized like guidance, or are they kind of just on their own, like this is what you got to do every week?
Oh, no, sorry, I guess I wasn't clear. So we send out an email to people every week, and we say, this is what's happening. Here are the steps you can take, and this is what we plan to do. So there's not a lot of you don't have to learn all of the background of who is doing what piece of impeachment. We organize the templates for you so that they're relevant and pertinent to your member of Congress.
Okay.
We got to find a way of getting through to these people. They're super insulated, and that can't last.
Yeah, I mean, that's really awesome. And it's, what's sad though is that we have to do this.
Mhm.
That's why they're there. They're supposed to be doing this for us.
That's something that I hope everybody who is interviewed as they're on patrol for, to do ICE watch, or they're organizing, another No Kings or whatever. I hope every single one of them turns the camera when press asks them, is like, I would not have to be here if my rep was doing their job. And I hope they name
Yes.
the rep by name, because they hate bad press and they hate seeing their name in press without like a. Yep,
Put the
absolutely.
pressure on them. Put the pressure on them. Because
Yep.
there's, like I said, they're supposed to be doing this. And I guess we got to take care of ourselves. We got to look out for ourselves.
Yeah, and it's really kind of shocking. The We just tried out visiting congressional offices this week, and it was just a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday. The congressional office is supposed to be open. It's supposed to be available to citizens to come and show up, and more than half of them were just closed. We You were either closed, or they refused to see the constituents. They made them talk through a intercom or call them, or that's unacceptable.
That's sad. It's really sad. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you talked a little bit about the deflation, right? Like, how does it feel to just get stonewalled? And I mean, I'm really, really grateful to be working with a team of people that just refuse to take no for an answer, right? If we can't figure out how to do this thing the one way, well, we'll find another way to do it.
yeah, that's where we're at.
Hmm.
So good for you. And I applaud you and your team and everybody that's trying to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you for being here and for sharing. And hopefully we get the message out a little bit and hopefully you get some traction.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We'd love to have I mean, it's a nationwide project, right? We really need everybody to make this happen.
Yeah. So where can people find you?
Yeah, folks can find us at citizensimpeachment.com. The website, that's where you can sign up. We are all over Instagram. I think we're about 20,000 people strong there. We're on Facebook, same name, Citizens Impeachment. Blue Sky is where we get real snarky.
Okay.
But yeah, just come look us up. We've got things to say, and we'd love to say I'm with you.
Awesome. Please join the movement, guys. It's so needed. And thank you so much. Like I said, thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
All right. Look for citizens impeachment. Get people involved. Get yourself involved.
I love it. Yep.
We'll see you next week right here on From Dirt We Grow.